telling y'all, Drake Joe, like, yo, like, you don't gotta pay me to not like a nigga. I could see that happening. Would I expect Joe to come out and admit it? No.
All right, now your boy Akademiks is saying that there might be a good chance that Joe Budden has been working for Kendrick Lamar this whole time. He even spoke about Drake allegedly smashing one of Joe's girls. Now, this all came about because apparently there are some messages floating around where battle rapper Daylight is saying that Dot has Joe Budden on his side. He said Drake got Akademiks and Dot has Joe Budden. So let's see what Ak had to say about this. Y'all better like the video, y'all better subscribe. Let's get it.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. And I think you would have to ask Joe that. I do want to also say, and I've said this before, I don't think Kendrick Lamar is running his promo. I did tell y'all though, the best guy that does digital, his name is Kojo. I've worked with him before. He just only works with TDE now. He solely works with TDE. That's the guy that Drake was trying to find. Drake couldn't find a nigga bro, at all. Drake spent $100,000 to find a nigga in a civil lawsuit. Couldn't find him. That's crazy. That guy is by far the best digital guy in music. I think he works straight for PG Lang at this point, right? So they probably have him on like a multi-million-dollar budget per year. That person, and I've worked with him a lot. I've done a bunch of campaigns with him. Knowing him, I could see them doing something with Joe. He's a very, he thinks outside the box. Most labels come to you and they're like, could you post this for this money? He's very next level with, let's get this relationship, incentivize it obviously with some money, but we're gonna go off your likes, your taste. We're just sweetening the pot. So if they notice early on Joe doesn't fuck with Drake, okay, let's do some shit with Joe. And it's gonna come off natural, not promo-y. Right? Like that guy that Kendrick has, I've been said it, like the nigga that Kendrick has is the best of the game. I remember Larry Jackson called me, was it Larry Jackson? No, it was Steve Stout. Steve Stout called me and said, Ak, who's the best person? He wanted to hire somebody for digital marketing. I said, the guy, I don't know if he worked for PG Lang then. I said, it was Kojo, number one. Like, which again, I think all the stuff he does for Kendrick, like he's probably like a good third of the brains behind everything you see with Kendrick. I don't know if it includes or stops at botting and shit like that. I'll be honest, I don't know about that. I've never, me and him, truthfully, I wouldn't lie on the guy either, because he's a cool dude. I've never heard him tell me that he does botting stuff, but that would kind of like revolve around maybe something he would do. But I've never heard him and I work with the guy a lot of times. I might have made $1 million with the nigga. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that's a good guy. It's a good guy. 1 year with that nigga, I ran up a bag with that nigga. So, but he works with Kendrick. And the question of Dot has Joe Budden, let's get Dot out of there. The brains behind that is this Kojo guy. And Kojo, shit, the way he used to work with me, I could see him working with Joe like that. Because he works in a way where it's not even promo, he's just paying you. Facts. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, it's ill. So I could see that happening. Would I expect Joe to come out and admit it? No. Right? And also probably again, I keep telling y'all, Drake fuck Joe bitch. Like, yo, you don't gotta pay me to not like a nigga after that. But I do believe 100% Kendrick has a bunch of people. I actually know some of their names, you know what I mean? Like, they're just getting paid to post shit though. And then you have the neutrals. There's a bunch of neutrals that will, like during the battle, what they used to do, anytime I had a reaction, because they were using me as like the Thanos of like the Drake fan / promoter. And anytime I would have anything that would be a reasonable facial, either disappointment, like, oh my God, Kendrick dropped, or like if I'm listening to Kendrick, I'm like, oh shit, that kind of sound good. They would clip it and spend like bad money and send it to the neutral blogs to kind of like, look, even Drake's biggest supporter is realizing Kendrick kicking up. So, Kojo's pretty good, man. So again, when they say, when Daylight says Dot has Joe Budden, I'm thinking, would Kojo do some shit with Joe Budden? And I can see it. Didn't confirm with Joe. Will Joe speak about this? I don't know. I mean, shit. But would I also be surprised if Joe is not getting paid at all? Joe's getting that Patreon money right now, right? Joe got them arguing on Patreon. Joe doesn't necessarily need that. And again, you wouldn't have to pay me to go hate on a nigga who fucked my bitch. Like, fuck out of here. So I'm telling you now, yeah. So I don't think, I don't know. I really don't know. All I'm gonna say is that, listen, I tell every fucking, I wish every label had a Kojo. A nigga like Kojo know how to make it happen. All he needs is a fucking budget, and he makes shit work. That's a good promoter. I'm saying it. I've always said it. And
all right, now, Akademiks said a lot. First and foremost, he's saying that somebody might have established a relationship between Joe and Kendrick Lamar's camp, or maybe Kendrick himself. Who knows? Remember, going back to the battle, some people were saying it was mighty funny that Kendrick was releasing songs right around the time of Joe Budden's podcast releases. So right before they would drop the pod, here comes Kendrick putting out music. And everybody said, hold on, Joe, this seems kind of funny. It seems like y'all might be in cahoots. And like Akademiks was saying, it might be this media guy who was out here identifying people with issues against Drake and saying, hold on, let's get them some money. Let's make sure they're part of PG Lang. Let's make sure they're getting money from the Kendrick Lamar backend. And maybe Joe was one of those people. Who knows? This is all alleged. And when Ak was saying he worked with this guy, I was wondering if he worked with him during times like when he was doing all that promotion for 6ix9ine. Because I remember when 6ix9ine was snitching and going to court, Ak was putting out all these YouTube videos, getting millions of views, and everybody was locked in to see what Ak was saying about 6ix9ine snitching. But at that time, Ak was running media. You couldn't turn on your phone without seeing Ak. And I wonder if this guy helped Ak during times like that, or maybe even during the battle. Because remember, a lot of people said the biggest winner of the beef was Akademiks. He got mentioned by both artists, ran up the bag on stream and YouTube, and was labeled as Drake's official right-hand man in the media. He won. And the only person who did it just as well as him was Joe Budden. And if Joe Budden had an inside source, it would make complete sense. As the message says, Drake has Ak as his main promo guy, and Dot has Joe Budden. And it would make a lot of sense because the two people they're saying have these relationships with Drake and Kendrick are the same people making the most money off both of them. And look, let's just talk about some of the things Joe has said about Drake post-beef. You've got to understand that whenever it's a Drake topic, there's an audience that boosts up the numbers just to see what he would say about Drake's music. For example, when Some Sexy Songs for You came out, everybody was paying attention and wanted to see what Joe had to say. And he didn't really like the album. But then when the eyes lower and it's just the main viewers of the podcast, not that big uptick of audience that comes for the Drake review, he'll come back a couple of podcasts later and say, you know what, Some Sexy Songs for You grew on me. It wasn't a bad album. But see, everybody remembers that initial review where you said it wasn't good. And that's the most important part. That's the moment where you're supposed to say the music was good. Not coming back with a little 5-minute segment every other pod saying, you know what, it was okay. So somebody could easily say you got paid to call the album trash, spent that money at Louis Vuitton, and now you're coming back saying it grew on you. I've seen Joe do that a few different times, where he flip-flops like that. Now this whole thing about Joe not liking Drake because he smashed his girl, I've been telling y'all this for years. Allegedly the girl was Tahiri, but if we want to be completely honest, it might be multiple girls. And I've seen Joe talk about this on the podcast during the beef, basically alluding to the fact that everybody doesn't like Drake because apparently he goes after people's girlfriends and tries to smash. Number one, it wouldn't even be a problem if Drake weren't successful. So Drake has been successfully smashing people's girls, and some people in the industry are upset. But I feel like that's hypocritical, because all they do is rap about taking somebody's girl, stealing somebody's girl. All they do is go on tour or go out of town and smash everybody's girl without caring if she's got a husband or boyfriend at home. But I feel like there's supposed to be some secret code within the industry that they don't do that to each other, and they're mad that Drake is doing it. Listen, Drake is very successful and allegedly a billionaire. I don't think he's trying very hard to smash all his girls. I think the girls are coming and throwing themselves at him. I'm just being honest with you. And I think that's the real reason a lot of these dudes are upset. You're not mad at Drake, you're mad at your girl, because she doesn't have to let him smash. I never get dudes for that. Your girl doesn't have to let my man smash. You're not mad at Drake, you're mad at your girl. And if y'all were in his position, y'all would be smashing everybody's girl too, because that's what girls want. They want the super successful guy with $1 billion. Especially Drake, who is way more accessible than an Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos. You can catch Drake at the strip club in Houston, and your girl is going. At some point, a lot of these rappers and people talking about this are just hating, because if Joe Budden were in Drake's position, he would be smashing everybody's girl up to kingdom come.
Pound Town Central. He would have been on those Olympics. And that's just the truth. But y'all tell me what you think about this. Do y'all think Kendrick's team is paying Joe Budden to talk crazy about Drake?